Hello all. I want to start a few videos about programming our MSXVR computer using the VR script programming language, which is shipped and included with the MSXVR. I want to start to show a few sources of information we could actually use to get all of these two booklets on here, a service manual, there's a programming manual, a book. Actually, this is in Spanish, but this is not so a huge problem, as we will be sooner or later look for examples, and are actually written in English language, and the information aside, we will get the idea about. Google Translate will also be our friend on this. And then we have also the classical books from MSX computers from the past, and if we would, but we would not, we could also use some basic things and so on, or use booklets also. But we will focus on VR script, so majorly we will use these books which are delivered with the MSXVR computer. This is one source. The second source is built in the MSXVR itself. Let's try to switch to it. Okay, and it's cool, huh? Haha, I practiced this. We see here on here the app help. We can launch it, and this is also offering the help, and the contents of this help is always updated with every software release of the MSXVR. And if we are opening it, it takes a few moments, as it's really very huge, this thing. There are the functions explained, how they are called, and which parameters needs to be put in, or which return data types are used. So this is also a thing we will, or you can look, or I can look, whatever. Then within this thing on here in the system drive, there is also the programming manual, also in English language. You can extract it. I have extracted it, so let's try to put this to show this on here on the Windows computer. This is the programming book in English and the user manual, and we can open this markdown file, .md file it is, for example with the program Typora. You can see Typora, it's it costs only about 15 euros or something, and this thing can read MD files, so we can also use this here to get an idea, or to look how things are done. And majorly we will focus on these documents on here. As last but not least, we can also use the internet to get information. There is one wiki, MSXVRAS dog wiki, MDWiki HTML, and we can also have take advantage of Google Translate on here, which then translate the wiki to English language as it's originally written or shown in Spanish language. Oh no, I don't know how to come back on here to this. Yeah, on here. So the original one here is in Spanish, but you can also switch them to a preferred language on here. And then there is also the MSXVR forum, and on here are also others of us, yeah, which are using MSXVR, and we can ask on there, or maybe also later also share information about. So okay, so this is the thing where we are getting information for our small programming things on here. So let's move back to the MSXVR. Okay, no, this one here. Okay. So a second, let's head to look after our programming environment. As we are programming VR script, we will majorly work in the VR DOS part of MSXVR, and we will use an editor. Let's make a subfolder like a tutorial and enter it. VR script files pardon, are types of .pi, and MSXVR offers also an assembler build tool. We will see how this will work, which converts .pi to pi compiled versions. But basically pi files are text files, so we will use an editor. This one here is the editor of MSXVR Computer. You see it's quite clean and bright also. And you can, for example, change the theme to a dark theme if you would prefer to work in a dark theme on here. As we will be working with several files, it's cool to enable the project explorer on here. It will be aside on here located, but you maybe see that the editor, let's move it back to the bright theme, but you see that the editor sits behind of this project explorer. Yeah? So text could be overlaid by this. To avoid that, we could also say show windowed mode on here, and then our editor is in a itself enclosed window here. And if we would type and exceed this position, then on the lower side we will see a scroll bar. We can save our file using the file dialog, save or save as. So we will do this, and we will say tut1.py, hit save, and then you see on here the file name. Basically, a VR script program is defined by defining classes, because during execution or somewhere while starting up an application, it's instantiated and it resides as an object in the program memory of the computer. But to define the behavior of this object, which could later consist of others, and needs to be described, and we are describing it here in the text file using object-oriented coding. Okay, so everything starts with a class, and we can name our class, and our class will get attributes and functionality of a parent class, which is named in our case now here DOS program, and this is basically it. I personally tend to put the opening brackets in the same line, but I will try to stick to the coding style of MSXVR team. So it meets how MSXVR team has shown already a lot of programming movies on here. Not sure about the technical details inside, but the main entry function, you maybe remember from ANSI C, the major entry function is the main function in C, right? But on here it is the start method. It's the start method. But this one exists also in the parent class, and now we want to override or extend it actually. I'm not 100% sure how this behaves, but to get the functionality of the start method of this one here, we have to assign this one here as a virtual one on here, there. And we can access from here several facilities of the MSXVR operating system, like DOS programs, like View programs, and others. As we want to operate firstly on the command line on DOS, we need to get a handle to it, and we will ask for it, and we can use to get the handle by calling a function which says, hey, get DOS, be prepared for our question. And our question is, please provide us a console. And it will provide us with a file pointer or a handle to an object which sits somewhere in the operating system, which represents the DOS console. And as we have retrieved this thing, we can now call some functions on it. We will have later a closer look what's behind, but just to get something printed, we will say hola amigas y amigos. So Spanish friends, please correct me whenever I'm doing something wrong or stupid, especially not on VR script, but also in Spanish language. So we can save this. We see on here a small asterisk, which is indicating that the file has not been saved. We can use the file save dialog, or we can use the keyboard shortcut Control and S. We will use this one, Control and S, and we see that the asterisk has disappeared. Before I forget, as we have modified on here our user interface of our editor, we can teach the editor to remember it, and we will do it on here in the properties thing. There is a save ini button. You can click this, and if we would quit now the editor, we will find in the directory we are, aside our tutorial1.py file, we will find also the edit.ini file. And this is the ini file the editor tries to find whenever it is started. And now it will be successful about this, and it will read it, and you see how we have configured it. The project explorer is true, the open file is tut.py, and the windowed mode is also enabled. And now it's enough just to start the editor. It will look for this file, understand it, and reconfigure the look and feel of the editor as we have defined it previously. On here in the edit thing, there is a run thing. This we can use to start a program, or we can also use the shortcut Control and R. We will use the shortcut, and so we'll click this here, and this thing is telling hola amigos y amigas y amigos. Now it's waiting for us. We can come back to the editor if we press the keys Control and C for cancel. Then we are returning to the editor. However, if we are finished with our DOS program, we should actually quit it in a proper way, and this is done by calling the end method, and we can also supply a return value. This one here tidies up something, and then it returns the 0 to the calling instance, which has called the DOS program, and this is usually our VR DOS. And if you run it now again, then it does its job and it returns to the calling instance. And as we have started it from the editor, we are returning back to the editor. but we will comment this here out, so this line will not be executed. So we have a little bit more time to look about the results of our program. Commenting can be done with this single line comment sign, like in C++ on here. But we could also use the multi-line comments like in ANSI C. You remember this maybe. Yeah. So and this is the thing. So hope you enjoyed. Give me a thumbs up, and I will be happy to get feedback. Okay, see you.